Okay, look, I'll start this video out by answering a very simple question. Am I making this video just for the sake of being a hater? Yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what I'm doing. And I'm trying to just poke fun at the situation in a pretty satirical and at the same time maybe kind of illuminating way. Don't get too butthurt because I'm not going out there and saying that these guys are stealing money from the people on the streets. It's not like that, it's not that serious. I'm just having fun with the title and the thumbnail, baby. Look, it's just for the memes. Just for the memes. Because today we are talking about the bees. Oh yeah, the big bad bees, the Boston Bruins, and just some guys that are on the team. That's it. Because when it comes to a few of these names, I will say I have seen a bigger and growing amount of discourse about these guys that is steering a lot more in the negative direction ever since this season began. I wanted to focus on 3 guys in particular. They are listed in the thumbnail of this video. Again, I'm just poking fun at the situation. I'm not saying they're actually con artists here. But today we're talking about the starting goaltender for the Boston Bruins, as well as the 2 big free agent pickups the Bees made from the Vancouver Canucks. Now, where the hell do we begin with this? You know what? Let's talk about the main guy, the big fish, the top dog in Boston, the guy who won out his spot over Linus Ullmark. His name is Jeremy Swayman. And I'll get this right out of the way. At the very beginning of this segment is part of the reason I'm even making this video, strictly because I am salty at my own terrible fantasy hockey decisions. Yeah, it kind of is. You see, I had Jeremy Swayman in my fantasy draft. I took him with the 4th overall pick because it was a keeper league, so all the top superstars, the McDavids, the McCarrs, the McKinnons, they were all not available in the draft. The top overall pick was JT Miller. It's a 16-team keeper league that I had joined and took over a bad team from last year, and my 3 keepers were Connor Bedard, Darnell Nurse, and Mackenzie Weegar. So I took Jeremy Swayman with that 4th overall pick, thinking that the goaltending was going to be super important heading into the year. Ay. I took him over some very good names, both goaltenders and otherwise. Because Jeremy Swayman, ever since stepping into the Boston Bruins lineup, missing out on preseason, missing out on the training camp portion of the season, he's gone out there with a terrible start to the year. Jeremy Swayman in yesterday's 8-2 loss against the Carolina Hurricanes posted up a .727 save percentage, which follows up an .870 in the win against Toronto, an .871 in a loss against Dallas, a .927, which admittedly was pretty good, even though they lost 4-0 against the Nashville Predators, and the .938 as well against the Utah Hockey Club. But other than that, Jeremy Swayman has only had another good game. He's only had 3 900-plus save percentage games this season, and they weren't all necessarily wins. The crazy part is, this guy doesn't even get 900 save percentages. It's either he's well below that, like in the 870, 840, 830 range, or he's at a 9.2 or a 9.3 or a 9.7. Like, there's no in-between with this dude. His overall save percentage and goals against average this season, .884 save percentage and a .357 goals against in 8 games played. That is a far cry from the .920 he posted up 2 seasons ago and the .916 he had last year. What the hell happened to this dude? I am a fool. I had the chance to take Jake Oettinger. He was right there. I had the chance to take some really talented players like Kyle Connor or Gensel or Tage Thompson. But I took Jeremy freaking Swayman, man. He sucks! Like, if you want to get the worst of NHL fans, you know what you do? You go onto the Yahoo Fantasy Hockey app, and you go to the specific player page of the player that you're thinking about, and then you go to the comments, because every single player has their own individual comment section, and the Jeremy Swayman one is on fire. Everybody's talking smack about this guy. Everybody's talking about how they're going to drop him. Everybody's talking about how he was a traitor, a liar, a snake, a fake. Okay, no, that's the John Tavares meme. But seriously, what the hell? That previous game, he got pulled, by the way, against the Hurricanes. I mean, he had a 12-something goals against in that game. Terrible stuff. And now, like, I can't drop him. I have no choice but to trade him because he's on the can't cut list for Yahoo, so I'm totally screwed. Other than that, it's not even just Jeremy Swayman that's going out there and disappointing right now. Let's head over to the Boston Bruins. Game day, no, not game day, the daily discussion thread from earlier this morning. These are done every day, of course, and you can just talk about whatever the heck it is you want to talk about. And I wanted to refer to a comment talking about the 2 Vancouver Canucks guys that were brought on to this team. Decent Ground 395 made this comment. This team ain't got it. Simple as that. Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov are not good, and the young guys are not ready. The power play in Boston is a catastrophe, and it's the only thing I have any hope of salvaging, but Marchand gave Lindholm a tap-in, and he blew it. For reference, if you want to know what's happening with these 2 guys, let's talk about the Boston Bruins and their point production. So right now, Elias Lindholm is, or at least he was supposed to be, the team's first-line center. He's got 6 points in 11 games right now, same amount of points, same amount of goals, and same amount of assists as John Beecher, who plays a completely different kind of game, and Nikita Zadorov has 3 points in 11 games. He also has 23 penalty minutes, leading the team by far. Big Z is in a really interesting spot because if you go over to the Bruins post-game thread from yesterday's Carolina Hurricanes stomping, you'll see quite a few comments talking about Zadorov and how he hasn't really excelled much in the Boston organization right now. I was quite taken aback to see Nikita Zadorov's general verdict from Bruins fans at the end of this game be very clearly in that negative direction. So many Bees fans are saying like, hey, I don't think Zadorov has actually been that good with us. I don't think he's been moving the puck well. I don't think he's been playing to his strengths. And there are some commenters that are trying to give reasons or explain why it's like that. Here exactly is one of those threads that I was referring to. I really don't understand bulking up when it still seems like the trend is to be quick on your skates. Nikita Zadorov seems like a nice enough guy, but I don't think I like or understand him as a player. Zadorov is good when he has a speedy team playing around him like Vancouver. When everyone else is out there and is huge and is lumbering, it doesn't work as well. Meanwhile, for Elias Lindholm, he's a guy who has been kind of thrown to the ringer as well. You look at what fans are saying about him, talking about the missed chance on the power play, talking about the 007. We had said this about Zach Hyman. We can say the same about Elias Lindholm. The name's Lindholm, Elias Lindholm, a.k.a. 007. Since October 13th, Lindholm has had 0 goals, 0 assists in 7 total games. And then he actually did score an assist in the Hurricanes game, so that's his first point since the beginning of the season. So, yeah, he's been through a rough stretch. Zadorov has been through an even more difficult and more penalized stretch, and Jeremy Swayman is crapping the bed. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm so upset with the way that he's been playing. My fantasy team relied on... Okay, I'm gonna shut up about my fantasy team. If you have any tips or anything you want to share, any ideas what I could do, I can't really trade this guy. Everybody knows he stinks. So I think I have no choice but to just ride the wave, right? Hope that this guy's gonna be able to bounce back and have himself a 9+100 save percentage year so that I can get some fantasy wins, man. I've been losing my goaltending categories all season long so far, and it's definitely going to lose this week again because Jeremy Swayman went out there and posted up a 12 goals against average in that game yesterday. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about these 3 guys, each of whom actually were able to get the Boston Bruins to give them a significant amount of money. Swayman, Zadorov, and Lindholm. Do you think it's possible for them to bounce back? Do you think it's possible for them to live up to the contracts that they had signed? Do you think Jeremy Swayman has it in him to be better? Because I kind of need him to be better. If you're a fan of the Bees, what are your thoughts on Lindholm? What are your thoughts on Zadorov? What are your thoughts on the goaltender? And of course, what are your thoughts on me for making this snarky video, dancing on your grave when everybody's talking about that loss you took yesterday? Do you see this? Do you feel this as adding salt into the wound? Or can I be forgiven here? It's November, no longer Halloween season, right? So maybe spare a little bit of kindness in your hearts. Maybe I could do the same thing too, right? Instead of making antagonistic videos like this on the internet. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Boston Bruins and how these guys have been bad. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.